Opening scene, suspenseful music, dark background narrator voice. Imagine being underestimated in front of the whole world. Imagine being challenged publicly by one of the most powerful women on the planet, and then turning the entire game upside down with just a single envelope. This is the story of Jasmine, the girl who outsmarted Melania Trump in a way no one ever saw coming. Cue intense cinematic music, Act 1. The CHLO. The event was supposed to be elegant, quiet, and just another charity dinner at the Grand Empire Hotel in New York City. Red carpets, chandeliers, and a sea of influencers, politicians, celebrities, and billionaires. Among them was Melania Trump, looking graceful, proud, and commanding attention like always. And then there was Jasmine, quiet, humble, unfamiliar to most of the attendees. She wasn't a celebrity, politician, or billionaire. She was a last-minute invite, an intern from a global tech think tank who had caught the attention of a few powerful minds in DC. She had no designer dress, no entourage, just a simple black outfit, a calm face, and a mysterious black handbag. Midway through the dinner, the topic of intelligence came up. Someone joked, "I wonder who in this room has the highest IQ." Melania, smiling, glanced across the table at Jasmine and said, "Greater than well, clearly we know who it isn't." The room chuckled politely. Jasmine looked up, unfazed, and then Melania added, "Actually, why don't we test it? Jasmine, how about a friendly IQ challenge? Let's see if brilliance still exists in silence." Everyone gasped, a public challenge. In front of the elite, Jasmine slowly nodded and replied with just 4 words, "Greater than you're on." Tomorrow morning, Act 2. The CTUPB. The next morning, the world was buzzing. News outlets had picked up whispers of the IQ duel between Melania Trump and a mystery girl named Jasmine. Some called it a publicity stunt. Others dismissed Jasmine entirely, but a few were curious. The organizers arranged a private room in the hotel, glass walls, cameras, neutral judges, and a table with 2 seats. Melania walked in with confidence, poised, elegant. She waved to the cameras and smiled at the judges. Jasmine arrived quietly, holding only her black handbag. No press, no smile, just focus. A panel of intelligence experts introduced the test. Logic puzzles, spatial reasoning, linguistic analysis, pattern recognition, a full-scale IQ assessment used by international intelligence agencies. The rules were simple: 90 minutes, no phones, no external help. The test began. Act 3. The test. Melania flipped through the questions with grace. She scribbled answers, looked pleased. Reporters watching through the glass murmured approval. Jasmine, however, was still. Her eyes moved slowly, but her pen danced across the paper. No reaction, no emotion, just movement. As time passed, the judges observed something strange. Melania was answering quickly, perhaps too quickly. Jasmine, on the other hand, took her time, but her answers were consistently precise in the final 10 minutes. Melania leaned back in her chair, looking satisfied. Jasmine was still writing, calculating, thinking. When the timer beeped, both stood up. The lead judge said, "We'll review the tests and announce results in 1 hour." But Jasmine raised her hand. She walked toward the judge's table, opened her handbag, and pulled out a sleek black envelope. It had a red wax seal with a strange insignia. She handed it over and said, "Greater than before, you declare any results, read this." The room fell silent. Act 4. The secret envelope. The lead judge looked confused but carefully broke the seal. Inside was a certificate, laminated, signed, and authenticated by a prestigious European institute, the Global Institute of Cognitive Intelligence. The document was real, official, dated just 3 weeks prior. It read, Subject, Jasmine, a verified IQ score, 184, classification, Genius tier top, 0.0003% of global human population. The judges blinked, then looked at each other, then at Jasmine. The room went from silence to chaos. Melania frowned. What is this, a trick? The head judge replied. Greater than this document is authentic. This institute only tests the top candidates nominated by intelligence communities. We've heard of them. They don't test just anyone. Melania's voice cracked. Greater than then, why did she take this test? Jasmine stepped forward. Greater than because this test wasn't for me, it was for you, to see if your confidence was real, or just noise. The media cameras zoomed in. Headlines were already forming. Act 5, the RESULTS. 15 minutes later, the judges returned with official results. They announced that Jasmine had scored 98% accuracy, completing all advanced logic sections flawlessly. Melania had scored 74%, which was above average, but nowhere near Jasmine. Melania looked stunned. Jasmine just nodded. Then, for the first time, she smiled. Greater than the world assumes, intelligence looks like money, makeup, and microphones. But sometimes, it wears silence. Like armor. Act 6, the AFTRMATH. That day, the story trended globally. #Jasmine, vs MELANIA. #IQ Queen, #Silent Genius. People all over the world were asking, who is Jasmine? Reporters dug into her past. Orphaned at 12, self-taught coder by 14, working with global AI researchers by 17, and now, apparently, a verified genius by 22. Talk shows debated it. Some defended Melania, saying it was just a friendly test. Others praised Jasmine for her humility and intellect. A week later, Jasmine posted a single statement on her X, formerly Twitter account. Greater than you don't have to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes, the quietest mind can cause the loudest shake. Jasmine, the post received over 15 million likes in 2 days. Melania never commented on the incident again. Act 7. The lesson narrator voice. This wasn't just about a test. It wasn't just about IQ. It was about ego versus substance. Melania represented what the world often celebrates: appearance, power, status. Jasmine, she represented what the world needs to rediscover: genuine intelligence, humility, and grace under pressure. We live in a world where noise often drowns out wisdom, but Jasmine showed us something powerful. Greater than you don't always need a microphone to make a statement. Sometimes, all you need is an envelope. Closing scene. Emotional music builds a narrator voice, so the next time someone doubts your worth because you don't dress like them, talk like them, or live like them, remember Jasmine. And remember this: true brilliance doesn't shine under spotlights, it shines even in the dark.